Hey, what's up? This is Dr. Taylor Krick at the Washington Wellness Center, and I want to review this new paper that just came out called Relationship Between Vitamin D, Gut Microbiome, and Systemic Autoimmunity. So this came out in the journal Frontiers in Immunology, which is my favorite journal. I'm that big of a dork. It was published on the 21st of January of 2020. So I don't know when you're seeing this, but right now, and I don't know the date today, but it's February of 2020. So this is brand spanking new. And the point is that there is a strong relationship between vitamin D, the gut microbiome, and systemic autoimmunity. And we measure vitamin D often, and we call it a low-hanging fruit because it's easy to change, it's cheap, and it's easy to measure. And I just went over two with people yesterday, and one was 32. Below 30 is medically insufficient. Another one was 17, and below 20 is medically deficient. And this person is diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. She came in here because she knew that she had it, but she didn't know much about it. And I said, what did they tell you about this vitamin D? And they just said, take a vitamin D supplement. And I said, well, how much and when are they retesting? So they didn't mention that. But for us, it's a low-hanging fruit because if we can get that 17 up to 60 or 70, we know that we're making a dent in the underlying autoimmunity. So this paper, I really want to show a couple of graphics in it. So I'm just going to skim through it. The gut microbiome, how it influences immune response and autoimmune disease. Intestinal bacteria influence inflammation and immune responses. And this is the first graphic that I want to show here. What this graphic is showing us is that going to work? Is that over here on the left is a higher level of vitamin D, and over here on the right is a lower level of vitamin D. So here's your vitamin D gradient, and over here on the left is healthier. This is a protective mucus layer in the gut, and this is where your food would come through. So right here where this ramp is where your food's going to come through. This is your gut lining, the gut cells. And on the other side is your immune system and your bloodstream. So when your vitamin D is high, you have more protective microbiome, you have more protective mucus, you have these nice tight cells, and it's anti-inflammatory. It stimulates these things called Treg cells, which we have a whole webinar about tolerance, and it's talking about these regulatory T cells. But over here, as vitamin D gets lower, you get more invasive pathogens, you get less protective mucus, you get more immune response, you get more leaky gut, you get more reactivities, and it's pro-inflammatory. Here's with MS, it reviews MS, it reviews inflammatory bowel disease, it reviews lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and the connection there, vitamin D and immune defense, on the microbiome, on the immune system. There's one more graphic we're going to get to, vitamin D and changes in the microbiome in autoimmune disease. Vitamin D supports intestinal and immune cell defenses at the gut immune interface. And then here's this other graphic that shows us, let's see if I can move this over. Let's do this. Shows us that you can have a genetic predisposition here, and then you have low vitamin D, or you have genetic SNPs for vitamin D receptor problems, which I have a couple VDR SNPs. Then that leads to increased gut permeability. And increased gut permeability can lead down here to bacterial translocation, and then it can lead over here to increased immune activity or inflammation. Or this can lead to a change in the microbiome, which then leads here and then leads there. Or this can lead directly to increased immune activity or inflammation. So just showing you the importance and the relevance there of vitamin D. So I hope this study just shows you how important this is. This is something that's important to me for my kids. My kids take vitamin D regularly. I take vitamin D regularly. We give it to our patients. My mom actually just texted me the other day and said, I'm so grateful for the vitamin D this winter. I feel like every winter I not only get sick, but I'm mildly depressed, and I feel like the vitamin D you've had me on has helped a lot this winter. So just a really, really important supplement that once again is a low-hanging fruit that if you don't know where your numbers are at and you're just taking it blindly, spend the, I don't know, 50, 75 bucks, whatever it is. We usually do it as a bigger panel. We have a standalone vitamin D test, but we'll do it as a bigger panel. But get your levels measured and then see how they change and get them up into that optimal range of maybe 50 to 70 or 60 to 80, but get them higher than 20 or 30, which is where most people are when we measure them. Even in the middle of summer, it's a low-hanging fruit. It's very, very easy, and it helps you fight against autoimmune disease.